Working theory times hydraulic construction. The wet quarry method, floating the pyramid into place. A theory of how the great stones could have been cut, floated, and set without ever being lifted, using the Nile's own channels, a pair of locks, and a fire. Author Aaron Cattell. River Nile cites Quarry lock L1 or L2 basin mechanism buoyancy, not leverage. This is a speculative, personal working theory, a mechanical what-if, not an established archaeological account. It's laid out here as a clear hypothesis, diagrammed step by step. Section 1. The two channels. Everything in this theory runs off the Nile. Rather than moving stone overland, two branch waterways are cut off the main river. One leads to the quarry, where the stone is cut, and one leads to the building site, where it is set. The river does the carrying in both directions. Nothing heavier than a plank is ever dragged over dry ground. River Nile flow wet quarry build site, PB, float downstream. Figure 1, plan view. The Nile branches to a wet quarry, top, and to the build site, right. The finished, loaded barge travels quarry river site entirely by water. Section 2. The wet quarry and undermining. The quarry itself is a basin that can be flooded and drained at will. A block is marked out and cut on every face except the one still joined to the cliff. The cliff continues to bear the block's weight while it is worked, so nothing has to be propped or shored. Once the outline is fully cut, the block is undermined. A gap is tunneled beneath it, and a wooden barge, its hull stiffened with air bladders made from filled animal skins for extra lift, is built directly in that gap, under the stone in place. The stone is never lowered onto a boat, the boat is built to it. Cliff face block, 3 faces cut undermined void barge built in place, under stone basin flooding air bladders. Figure 2, section through the quarry face. The block stays keyed into the cliff until the last cut. The barge is assembled beneath it in the undermined void before flooding. When the basin is flooded and the final joining face is cut, the barge, stone and all, lifts free of the quarry floor on its own, buoyed by the rising water rather than by any crew. Section 3. The double lock at the site. At the building site, 2 water locks sit side by side, both with sealed wooden walls. Lock L1 a plain lock, cut deeper than L2. Lock L2 a stepped lock, shallower, draining into L1. Drain connects the base of L2 through to L1. PB the main site basin, dug into the ground to the same depth as L1, the deep lock. That matched depth matters. It means a barge lowered all the way down through L1 arrives level with the floor of the main basin, so it can pass straight through onto the pit floor without ever needing to drop further once inside. The loaded barge enters the stepped lock, L2, first. As water is drawn off through the drain into L1, the barge is lowered step by step, riding the falling water down rather than being winched down mechanically. L2, stepped lock steps drop the barge in stages. Drain L1, deep lock receives drained water wood shutters, pulled up, PB, main site basin barge plus. Stone, afloat metal-clad corner guides. Figure 3, plan view of the lock sequence. L2 steps the barge down, the drain passes its water to L1, once level with the basin floor. The shutters between L1 and PB are pulled and the barge floats through into the main basin, guided to position by the corner guides. Once the barge is level with the basin floor, the shutters are drawn up and it floats straight through into the main site basin, PB, where it's walked into position between the corner guides, the barge's flat bottom keeping it square. Section 4. Draining, burning, setting. With the stone floating in position, the main basin is drained. As the water falls away, the wooden barge is set alight. The corner guides are clad in metal, so as the burning hull collapses beneath it, the stone settles straight down through the fire, guided true by the metal-lined corners, until it comes to rest exactly in place. The same cycle, flood the basin, Float the next stone in, drain, burn, settle, repeats course by course. Draining barge burning away stone course descending prior courses, already set. Figure 4, section through the basin at the moment of setting. The stone rides its burning barge down between the metal-clad guide posts until it lands true on the course below. Section 5. 1 course, start to finish. The full cycle for a single stone, laid out in order. 0-1. Undermine. Block cut on 3 faces at the cliff, barge built beneath it. 0-2. Flood quarry. Last cut severed, barge and stone lift free unaided. 0-3. Float to site. Down the connecting channel, onto the Nile, to the locks. 0-4. Step down L2 L1. Drain stepwise through L2, water passed to L1. 0-5. Drain, burn, set. Basin drains, barge burns, stone settles true on the guides. Section 6. A structural requirement. The pit itself is dug as deep as Lock L1, so the whole pyramid is built up course by course from the pit floor, solid and fixed, each stone settling permanently onto the one below it, exactly as described in Section 4. The structure does not float as it grows. The float happens only once, at the very end. Once the last course is set and the pyramid stands complete at the bottom of the deep pit, the entire pit is flooded fully. Because the finished pyramid has been built watertight from the base up, it now behaves as one sealed, buoyant hull. The rising water lifts the whole structure, as a single unit, floating it upward through the depth of the pit until it comes level with the surrounding ground. With the pyramid floating level at ground height, its position can be fine-tuned precisely, nudged square and level while it's still weightless in the water, before the pit is drained and backfilled around it, locking it permanently in place. Ground level pit floor. Depth equals L1 built solid, course by course pit fully flooded floats up once, level with ground backfill. Figure 5, left, the pyramid built solid, course by course, on the floor of the deep pit, as deep as Lock L1. Right, once complete, the pit is flooded fully and the watertight structure floats up as a single sealed unit until level with the surrounding ground, ready for backfill. Why it matters. Building solid at depth, then floating the finished structure up in one motion, means the pyramid only ever needs to be leveled and positioned once, at the very end, while it's briefly weightless in the water, rather than being kept in trim course after course. The pit is then drained and backfilled around it, fixing it permanently at ground level and burying the lock system beneath the surrounding fill. Wet quarry method, working notes by Aaron Cattell sketch reference. River Quarry, PB, L1, L2, underpinning.